We're back at it.
Yeah,
We're a little late.
a little late.
A little late. You were in London
I
and
was
I was sick, so
postponed. Yeah, the
here
recording.
we are.
Yeah, what was it? It would have had to be like or had to have been a 10 p.m. recording for you and like a 6 a.m. for me, I think.
Yeah, that
So
might not be it.
plus sickness, plus yeah, I think this is a little better. Plus we got to see some of the other results come out
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So I don't know. What have you seen? We've been talking a little bit, and you said that you haven't been watching as much as
So
you'd
okay,
probably like. Yeah,
I've watched a fair amount of the LTA stuff. So they finished up the LTA like North and South conferences
yeah,
separately, right? And then they
yeah.
combined, and I think it's literally called like LTA combined or something.
Re-
It's like the
That's all
stupidest.
it's called.
It's something. Let me see. LTA cross conference. Okay, a little more official, but
Okay, yeah,
they finished the first round of that, and I know that LEC is in playoffs.
yeah,
The main thing is everyone is 2-0ing everyone else all the time.
yeah.
There's been like 3-2-1 since the last time we finished. I think. So, okay, so the really interesting thing to me is that the top four were as expected: TL, FlyQuest, Cloud9, and 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
But everyone, which is reasonable, everyone was like, "Hey, FlyQuest TL 1-2, C9 100 Thieves 3-4. That's how it's going to turn out, right? It's
Yeah.
going to be like," and that's how they were playing each other. It was like FlyQuest versus
100, I think.
100 and
then
Cloud9 versus TL. So people are like, okay, so Fly and TL win those matchups, and then they play for first, and C9 and 100 Thieves will play for third, fourth. And then instead of that happening, we saw 2-2-1s, and it flipped, and C9 and 100 actually took it, and then FlyQuest and TL took third, fourth.
Yeah.
And we got to see the very first.
What's it called? I can't believe I'm spacing. What's this? What's this format?
Fearless?
Fearless. God, you're so good. We got to see the very first Fearless best of one. So 100 Thieves took the very first Fearless best of
right?
one.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest shit of all time.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was stupid. Whatever. 100 Thieves got the first spot by winning a best of one against Cloud9, and then FlyQuest beat TL, so TL fourth, baby.
Yeah.
It's,
Classic.
death, taxes, TL fourth. And then we head into the LTA cross conference, and this is exactly what I was worried about, right? I was like,
you mentioned it. You mentioned
I
it
did
before.
mention it. I was like, man, there's a really good chance we just see all four LTA North representatives just dunk on all four LTA South representatives. And then we saw 3-2-0s, and then fucking TL fourth over here go 2-1, but they still took it.
Yeah.
So now we're back to another LTA North playoffs bracket, except for it switched. So now it's like C9 versus FlyQuest and TL versus 100 Thieves, I think. So
Okay.
it's like slightly different matchups of the same four teams, and all the LTA South teams are out immediately.
Yeah. I know like some of the players even were like, they weren't fans of this format for sure. I know I saw an APA interview, I think with Travis Gafford. He was like, it was the last day of the LTA North split, right? Regular season. And they're flying out the next day, right? Like, can't be fun. And then they're there for what, like 3 days, and then they got to go on stage and play. Like nothing, no time to get adjusted, no time for anything like that.
Yeah.
And then they're only playing like, I mean, we mentioned it before, but like or who are the teams? Lion and DSG played like 2 series and they're done. Even like Dignitas and Shopify 3 series and they're done, right?
Yeah.
And now I think, are all these LTA South teams just done too?
Yes, they're done. Yeah. They can't qualify for it. Yeah.
So like all the LTA North teams came all the way down just to basically play as part 2 of an LTA North split.
Yeah. They dunked on all the LTA South teams. Okay, that's a little unfair. There was some close games in there. The LTA South boys did put up a fight. They did take some good early games, but so maybe dunk on is a little bit extreme, but they all got 2-0'd except for
you can't
TL.
argue 8-1 LTA North teams versus LTA South. Hard to argue. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have to think TL was the 4th seed playing against LTA North or South's 1 seed in Estral, right?
Right.
So that's...
and TL looks cooked. They look. I don't know about UmTi, man.
Dude,
There's a lot of criticism about him right now.
Yeah, I've seen it all.
I don't want to say like the funny thing too is there's like that quote of his that's going around right now where he's like, you can't judge me off a best of 3 series because I could look like I could in this series and then be the best player in the world like 2 days later, and everyone's like, how long do we have to wait to judge you, man?
No.
You look dog shit. You look so bad.
Did you see that TL just signed Magnus Carlsen?
Yeah.
Everyone's like, wow, UmTi was that bad. They had to go get Magnus Carlsen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's kind of getting dunked on in his own right.
He should not be on Twitter right now.
Yeah. Keep the replies off for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't gotten to tune into too much of the LTA, but I've seen the results of everything, obviously, and
Right.
yeah, UmTi's kind of been the one everyone's shitting on a bit, the underperforming player.
I was worried about UmTi even last year. I remember towards the end of the year, I was like, I really hope these teams stay together. If there was one change I could see happening, it would be UmTi getting changed in TL. And I'm really curious to see if they do it now. If TL makes a roster change, just because it's like they don't look that good. They look worse than the other 3 LTA teams, and it's like, I don't know if TL is going to be comfortable being the worst of the top 4 LTA teams for the whole year. I have a hard time imagining that Steve, Liquid 112, Big Boss Man is going to be like, oh yeah, we'll be 4th again out of 8. Well, that's like,
nah.
Too many of their players are so good. Like Yeon looks so good. I mean, Impact and Core are insane.
APA, honestly, I mean, again, I haven't seen too much, but his stats look okay.
Yeah,
I mean, his stats
he
don't
hasn't
look bad.
been having like the best year so far, but like they have too many good pieces to just be like solo losing games because of UmTi. So I don't know. I'll be curious to see if they make a roster change.
So they get 100 Thieves next?
It's C9TL.
Oh, okay. So
it's Fly 100 C9TL.
So it's just C9 then.
I think so.
Yeah.
Is this okay? Because so when they played in the LTA North, it was TL 100, Fly C9.
Okay, got it.
And now it's switched up to Fly 100, C9 TL.
Okay.
I don't know. TL only lost 100 Thieves 2-1, and 100 Thieves went on to, I don't know, win LTA North or whatever, get first in LTA North. So maybe it's not C9 all day, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't know.
Feels like the sample size is just a little small for us to be making judgments on it.
Not a lot of games have been played.
Yeah. Especially when it's all like top tier. Well, you get a mix of top and bottom tier teams that these guys are going against, so you don't really get a full understanding of how everything's going. I mean, TL hasn't even played C9, have they? Or did they?
They must have, right? Wait, let me look. That's a great question.
Because it started out where it was just the top 4, bottom 4 in LTA in North, and then the winners matched up. Yeah, they haven't even played each other, right?
They haven't even played each other yet.
Yeah, so these are just new matchups for everybody, which is crazy. Yeah.
Okay, we got to go back to talking about this format real quick. I don't know what your thoughts are on the format. I think Fearless is fucking legit. I think it's okay. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
I think that Fearless is the future of professional League of Legends. I think that hopefully, I've seen a lot of discourse about this online, and a lot of people are looking at it really positively. Mm-hmm. And I think Riot should take the hint and make plans to switch into like full Fearless year round. It's just like, it makes it so much more interesting when you're going into a game 5 and people are pulling out like a Mumu and like these random like pocket picks and stuff. That's so much more entertaining than just like, let's watch another Sejuani Maokai series. Let's watch more
Azir Corki.
Let's watch our 200th game of Zeri Lulu or whatever. Like
Lucian Nami.
Lucian Nami. It's like, that's so goddamn boring compared to like I don't know,
We're
let's
getting
pull out a Vayne game, or like
Yeah.
let's play Sivir here or something like that, right? It's like, I don't know. I think Fearless is legit the future of Pro League.
I think if you're trying to bridge the gap between the player base and the esports base, yeah, it's
That's a
100%
great
the way
point.
to go. You know, like
Yeah.
there's a lot of champions that are my favorite champs to play, like a Lux, right? Or a Twitch, right? You love to play those champs, and you never see them in pro play, but we've seen both of them so far in Fearless,
Yeah.
right? Little things like that where it's like it's more fun to see the champs that you're actually playing in the game being played by pro players, you know, seeing how they pilot them, right? I love Fearless. I think it's been great. I have seen like the negative discourse on it, how it's like the argument that people are making is a lot of, oh, the players when they play specific metas and it isn't Fearless, then they get really good at those metas and it's the best quality of gameplay, right? And I'm like, I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, like
Yeah.
I kind of get where you guys are coming from, but it's like,
I get the
do you
concept
enjoy
of what
that?
they're I get the concept of what they're arguing, but two things, like you said. One is, have we noticed a visible dip in gameplay across the 5 regions? Like, do you feel like comparing last year's gameplay to this year's gameplay that like people look like they're playing worse? Because I don't
Yeah.
notice that.
I don't think so either. I think if anything, it brings out new strategies, new
Yeah.
ways to play the game, which
Yeah.
I think that's also the negative argument that these people are making, or the argument against Fearless, right? Is like some players are just going to play a random champion that they don't know how to play, like T1 in their final game 5 against HLE, right? No synergy with their comp. They just kind of picked whatever and heavily reliant on, it was like owner Skarner and Faker Zoe or whatever. And like when none of that CC hits, there's nothing that works and they just look terrible. But at the same time, you know,
Isn't
it's kind
that
of fun to watch those
entertaining, though?
matchups. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's like the other thing that you were saying was like, when there's specific metas, teams get really dialed in on those metas and become masters of those metas. But it's like that usually happens over the course of like weeks or months. And in that time, you're watching those teams and those players play the same 3 champions for weeks or months. And it's like, yeah, maybe at the end of it, you get to see a really dialed in version of that meta. But is that worth it?
Right?
I don't feel like that's worth it to me. I don't feel like watching the same players play the same 3 champions for months is worth seeing a slightly more, maybe it's more than slightly, I don't know, just a more dialed in version of that meta. Like I'd way rather see teams like T1 pick 5 champs that have 0 synergy and rely on their skill and get mega punished for it because they don't have a game plan going into game 5 of a Fearless draft. That's so much more entertaining.
Yeah. You know, there's also like the arguments of Fearless where like you just sack a game and take a bunch of, you know, the other team's favorite champs. Like there's more strategy to be held. And at the same time too, like when we look at Golden Roads, right, things like that,
yeah,
the reason why teams can't get it done is because the meta changes so much between winter, spring, summer, and you know, maybe a team's a master within one meta, right, and then they fail at the world's meta, right, or one team levels up in a certain meta, right. That kind of evens the playing field throughout the whole year. If everyone's on Fearless, everyone's playing the exact same pool of champs. Yeah, some champs are going to be more meta than others, right? But you'll see them get played once in the series, right? Or they're banned of the whole series.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, from a viewer standpoint, it's just way more entertaining. I think we both agree on that.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think what you're saying is totally right, because the way that we've been talking about teams that have won worlds over the last few years, I think the pretty generally accepted understanding of how a team wins worlds is they have a team of players who really understand the meta at the time and are really good at doing something specific, and that something specific also happens to work within the context of the meta that they're in. And they're super dialed in on that, and they're really good at it, and that's how you win worlds, is you play to your strengths, and your strengths fit within the meta, and you win worlds, right? And there's arguments that there's variations on that. You know, you see T1 winning back-to-back worlds and stuff like that, and it's like, okay, well, we're not seeing the exact same meta from year to year, so like there's variations of it. But that's kind of I feel like there's a fairly general consensus that that's kind of how teams have won worlds over the last couple of years.
Mhm.
And hopefully, we don't know because we haven't seen a major international tournament yet, but hopefully what Fearless does is it shakes that up, and all of a sudden team play becomes super important, drafting becomes super important, synergies between team members becomes really important, and it's less about can you figure out the most broken 3 champions in every role for a tournament and then just roll those champions all the time because your opponent can't ban everything.
Yeah.
And it's more about how do you play as a team and how flexible are the people on your team, and I don't know, just things. It's less like super champion meta dependent, and it just, I think it opens it up a lot more, which is awesome to watch.
Yeah,
so
I almost wonder like how much did FlyQuest Gen.G or FlyQuest HLE impact some of these decisions by Riot, because let's be honest, the champs that they were playing last year at Worlds, not meta at all for the time. Maybe they were. I don't actually know, but no pro teams or players were picking Nunu, right? Or picking, I don't know who else they picked, but they were picking some wonky ass picks, right?
Yeah.
And just it throws teams off guard when they're fully expecting one thing and they're setting one meta, setting the same 5 sets of champions that they're going to play as a team comp. FlyQuest comes in and just whatever, like kind of blows it all up,
Yeah.
And you're seeing that everywhere now, like Nip, for example, in LPL, right? Like Doinb and all those boys are they're having a blast over there with Fearless. Like I think he said, "Oh, I'd be jobless if it weren't for Fearless," right? And yet they're dominating over there right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, there's arguments to be made on both sides, but I'd love to see them go ahead with it and maybe slowly implement it throughout the rest of the year. Maybe continue it on to spring, see how it works, and from then on, maybe it's a hard decision to make as a company, like how you're going to move on with it.
It's a big decision, right? It switches up. I mean, even just doing one split or one section split, I guess it's a split, one split of it, even that is like a pretty big decision because you're changing up the fundamental way that pro play goes, right? But I feel like there's been so much positive feedback about it that they have to at least give that some credit. And exactly what you were saying too about Nip, right? It's like, how fun is it to watch Doinb come back to pro play and play the most random bullshit you've ever seen in your life, and they're just stomping the rest of the LPL. That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's
it's great.
So sick.
It's so fun. Yeah,
like, would you rather watch that, or do you want to see Corky Azir 10 more times, right? It's like, do you want to see Doinb rise like 1v5 ulting into the entire enemy team and just running at their faces, like stunning them and like just fully 1v5 like under tower? Do you want to see that, or do you want to see, I don't know, Doinb play Orianna and farm for 20 minutes? Like, come on.
Like, let's be honest here. Like,
let's be real.
Yeah. I don't want to see 5 straight Cassante games from Keen, like, like, I don't know.
Great. Let's watch 10 games of Cassante and Bessa. Let's watch Cassante Gnar for the 3rd year in a row. Like, give me a break. Man. Like, do you want to watch that, or would you rather have like a 10 times higher chance of seeing Doinb Nautilus mid again?
Yeah, right.
Like, how lit is that?
Or Faker Zoe,
Faker Zoe
obviously didn't go well, but you're hyped to see it. Exactly.
It didn't go great, but you got to see him fail on stage with it. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
No,
I think it's great.
And with an ever expanding champ pool too, like, I don't get why this isn't something that they've tried to implement earlier. There's 180 champions in the game. You're playing the same 10-1s every game. Come on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm with you. No, I'm with you. I'm on the Fearless train pretty hardcore.
Oh yeah. But I mean, we've seen it be really entertaining, especially once we get to these game 5 Fearless silver scrapes. It's unreal. Like the T1 Hanwha Life series, unreal, right? Just because of what they're able to play and pull out, like the list of bans in game 5, it's ridiculous when you look at it. Like, it's the funniest thing ever.
It's really funny to see that graphic of just like half the screen is taken up by like 50 champion bans or whatever. Not 50, but it's like, no, it is, right? It's 40.
Yeah, but 50 by the time.
Oh, plus another 10 from
Yeah.
50 champion. So you just have 50 champion bands on the screen, and then
Yeah.
5 more, like 10 more champions picked or whatever. That it's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the player cams; they're all looking around like, "Yeah, sure, I guess we'll play that." You know, they're like, laughing.
Has this champ been picked? Like, is this allowed?
Yeah, I wonder how it looks on their end. Like, are they just deleted from the client, or like they just know not to pick it? Imagine
it can't. It's got to be that there's no way Riot has implemented Fearless within the client.
Right?
There's no way they're a small indie company. There's no way they've done that.
I wonder if there's ever going to be like a penalty. You know how like last year Yankos was late and so they lost a ban. I wonder if they accidentally like repick a champ that's been banned. What would happen?
That would be funny. That would be. I wonder. I'm kind of surprised that hasn't happened yet. Maybe they are like banned in the client, or like you can't click them or something.
Yeah, I don't know. But regardless, it's been really entertaining, and I've had a lot of fun watching all these different leagues play, because LPL 2, they're all best of 5s in general. So I mean, I've seen Gen.G go to a few game 5s. I think they've been to a few, at least one. And we again saw like a Pays Twitch. This is all over the place, right?
Yeah. So. Yeah, speaking of all the games that you've been watching, I need some updates on the LCK and the LPL, because Nongshim is top 4 for some reason in the LCK, and I have not one clue what the hell is going on in the LPL. So hit me with something.
I mean, so I remember last time we talked, we were just trying to figure out the format for the LCK Cup, right?
Yeah.
So we're in like round 3 of playoffs now.
They're in double elim now, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it ended up being like, with the groupings and everything, it was all weird. Gen.G and DK both got buys, and then it somehow ended up being HLE T1 and then Nongshim versus KT. Was round 1 of playoffs,
and then Nongshim just like shit on KT.
Oh
right?
Yeah, big time. Yeah,
it was
they
like 3-0.
3-0'd them. Yeah, and it wasn't even close. Like Dokdom, Wei, Cuz all look pretty mid. I'm not gonna lie. Like BDD was their best player, and he didn't look amazing either.
What a fall from grace.
Yeah. And I personally thought KT, on paper they're decent. Like Dokdom has not been good. Wei hasn't been good for them, but like on paper, they're not bad, right?
Yeah.
But
on
paper, not bad. They were horrible. Yeah. They got smoked. Like rolled up into a blunt and just And Nongshim looked decent, right? They looked okay.
Nongshim is the King and Lahens roster.
Yeah.
Right?
King and Lahens, they have Gideon, Fisher, and then Jiwoo.
That's quite the roster.
Yeah, to be top 4.
Yeah. How much weight is King and Lahens pulling? Is it a team effort, or is it like world champ diff?
No, it's actually a team effort, I'd say.
Wow.
There's like some misperformances here and there from like all of them, honestly. I think Kingan's definitely the most consistent member, but like guys that you've probably never really heard of, like a Gideon or a Fisher, they're actually playing pretty well right now. And it's a breath of fresh air, because I remember last year we were trying to find ways to give Nongshim props, and there's just none. This year they're like, everyone's shitting on them for being 4th, right? Because of the format. Like we all know it's TL, or not TL, T1, HLE, Gen.G, DPlus are all the top 4, but Nongshim's in there because of the format, right? We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Nongshim might actually be the 5th best team in the league. Yeah. So it's a breath of fresh air, because you got teams like, KT, DRX, DNF that have looked pretty good over the last few years. DRX maybe not so much, but it's new teams kind of in the running. Even Bro hasn't looked terrible. So I wonder if that's more of an impact of Fearless, because with Fearless, we've seen a lot of crazy support picks being pulled out by Lahens. Like he's played some Shen support. The Elise support now is becoming a lot more popular, but just like all over the board, Nongshim's looked a lot better than anyone probably would have expected them to be.
I'm not sure how much credit to give Fearless for teams like Bro and NS looking better, because when you look at the LTA North, there's a pretty freaking clear top 4, bottom 4. You know, like the bottom 4 teams don't look better all of a sudden because of Fearless. And I know it's like just been best of 3s, so it's like a smaller scale. We're not seeing these best of 5s, but I don't see all of a sudden like Dignitas playing against Cloud9 or something and taking them to 5 games in a Fearless draw. Like they're gonna get 3-0'd in a best of 5. You know, it's like so I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just credit to the players in the LCK. I mean, it could be that like the way that it's working in different regions is different as well, but I don't know that I'm sold on Fearless being the credit for bottom teams doing better in leagues.
Yeah, Nongshim's roster is 100% better, like way better than last year, right? And then Bro as well kind of leveled up just in their own right. Upgrades in almost every role, I'd say, for them. But yeah, I think it's more like the Fearless enables them to pull out these picks, some of these players, right? I agree. I don't think Fearless is the sole reason why Nongshim is in double elim right now, but they've definitely leveled up their play, and I think that confidence, you know, that's probably come just because they're just playing whatever they want, you know, like no limits, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to talk about Nongshim too much because they're probably out next round.
You think they might lose to Gen.G?
Yeah, maybe
Gen.G has a
unless Lehens has some like crazy vendetta on Gen.G for letting him go. Who knows? But
maybe it's his villain arc. I don't know.
Yeah. Hanwha Life and DK are the teams for sure to watch.
DK is having some kind of insane run, right? Okay. I'm just looking at their games real quick on LoL Esports. They were 5-0 in their group, and then they 3-1 NS. So they're 8-0, 8-1.
8-1. Well, they've lost some games here and there, but
right, because they're 5-0 is their match score.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, they've dropped a few just here and there, but like that's any team.
Yeah,
they look like they're playing really well as a team together. They look like they're all on the same page. All the pieces look really good together. I don't think that they're better than HLE now. Obviously,
really?
Hindsight's 2020. I had them up ahead of HLE and Gen.G before. I think HLE is better than DK. I think HLE right now is the most well-rounded team, and they also have a lot of pretty crazy players that are overperforming maybe not overperforming, but they're pretty clutch in the big games. I don't know if DK's got that in them if they were to go like 5 games versus Hanwha Life. So far their road's been pretty easy. That's why.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
So I just looked up their actual game score, and they're 13-5 in games, and HLE is 15-8.
Okay. Oh wow.
So HLE has a 65% win rate in games, and DK has a 72%, I think. So pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
I think you also, take into account the teams played, right?
True.
I think DK did end up playing T1 and beating them 2-1 during the regular season. But there's a lot of like, past games, right? I just want to talk about like currently right now, it's HLE, DK, Gen.G, Nongshim. Like, I don't think anyone would disagree with that. Yeah.
Dude, HLE, they're just going through the hyperbolic time chamber right now, aren't they? I mean, best 5-game best of 5 against T1, 5-game best of 5 against Gen.G. When who do they play next? They play
DK.
Oh, they play DK.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we in for another 5-game banger, or is it like not that close?
I think okay, it really depends. Okay, this is where I think Fearless does have an impact. It depends on how DK can adjust if it does go to 5.
Right.
It could easily be I don't want to make too many crazy predictions yet, but I'm pretty sure HLE takes it regardless. It could be a 3-0, it could be a 3-2. I don't see a world where HLE loses to DK after what they've done the last week. Right. Especially, I don't know. But if DK they have Beryl, they have Showmaker, they have, those two guys are willing to pull whatever they want. Right. So I think DK has been the one that's had the most fun with Fearless playing. and in their drafting.
I can believe that.
So yeah, I don't know. It'll be fun. That's going to be the series to watch. I think Gen.G probably smokes Nongshim a bit. It might be a little closer than we think, though.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. I mean, HLE, I mean, if they develop a reputation for being clutch in a game 5 and they're just like the grinders, I mean, that's kind of a fun narrative too, right? Like if they go 5 games against DK too, and all of a sudden they've 3-2'd like the top 3 other teams in the league or whatever, that's kind of a cool narrative. That's kind of sick. I mean, like being clutch in a game 5 situation in Fearless, that's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not too bad of a title to have, you know?
Yeah.
Then I think the one thing over the last week, I thought T1 was going to be the best team in playoffs for LCK Cup, if I'm being honest.
I remember that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that might have been the sentiment for everybody. Had they not, well, obviously, if they didn't lose to HLE, right, they'd probably be the tournament favorites. But they looked really solid, and HLE just probably weren't playing to their team's potential throughout the regular season and throughout games that we'd seen them. But they've leveled it up. They've kind of figured it out. I think they're all pretty. Maybe they're just a playoff team. You know, they level up in the playoffs, and as long as they get there, that's all that matters. The synergy was not there, though. I think for the regular season, they're really just relying on their individual players, and now you're actually starting to see them play more like a team, and the sum of their players' strengths is really
more than. I forget the term, but you know,
they're more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah, a lot more than the sum of their parts, because that's honestly all they were for most of the regular season, and now they look above and beyond that.
And the HLE roster, this is the Zeus, Viper Delight, right?
Peanut Zeka.
Peanut Zeka. I was trying to remember who the jungler was. Peanut Zeka. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on paper, they might be the most stacked team in the league.
Kind of insane.
They probably are, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They just weren't up to form yet, and that's the same with Gen.G, right? Their team on paper, unreal, but underperformances from Duro, Ruler, Canyon, honestly, Chovy. Keen's been their most consistent player. It's almost like
so interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of wild, the fall from grace for Gen.G here, but it's just a lot of adjustment too, I think, for some of these teams.
Yeah. It's so crazy to not expect a team of Canyon, Chovy, Ruler to win every game.
Yeah.
That's so insane. Right. I mean, you could put Keen in there too. Duro's new, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is he a rookie or is he like second year?
I think he's a rookie.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's been their weak link for sure. Like,
okay. Yeah.
I mean, if they had Lehens, they'd probably be firing on all cylinders still. Or if they had, I mean,
you heard it here first. NS is coming in and cooking Gen.G. Lehens is shoving it down their throat. Grayson said it.
I think Lehens gaps Duro, and that might be the only gap.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But LCK has been really fun. We are in the double elim part of it, so I think it goes HLE beats DK, Gen.G beats Nongshim. DK, I think, beats Gen.G, and then we get a rematch of HLE DK. But
in the finals, okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. It's really hard to bet against HLE, though, right now, with how they've looked this past week.
Yeah.
Really hard to bet against them, because even DK, they dropped a game to Nongshim. Nongshim looked like they had some chances. Like, it could have gone to 5 games. I think game 1 was kind of close for Nongshim, but it's definitely DK favored. DK Hanwha favored to be the final, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty hype final.
Yeah.
I think any combination of HLE, DK, Gen.G is a pretty hype final.
Yeah. I don't think anyone's complaining for that.
Yeah. It's got. Oh, never mind. Nope, never mind.
So that's LCK. I've been tuning into some LCP and some LPL too.
That's right.
The LCP is actually kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
I've seen you been tweeting about it.
Yeah, that's the one I've been kind of watching. There's a lot of sleeper players over there, guys that are obviously looking to make their mark within the pro circuit. I mean, guys that have been there for a while, but
Yeah.
guys that are trying to make a mark for themselves as the new major region. Kind of like a 5-ish team region. I'd say the 2 Taiwanese teams and then the 3 Vietnamese teams are all really strong.
Okay.
Everyone else kind of flows down below that.
Sure.
But like it's names that you're familiar with still. So like Talon, CFO. The other team that's really good sleeper is the MGE Vikings.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So they're the best looking Vietnamese team right now. It's them, Gam, and then Team Secret Wales, which is also Vietnamese. So
right, the Wales. Yeah.
It's kind of those 5. CFO and Talon are in a 2-way tie, I think, for first, and then Vikings, Gam, Secret, kind of in that order.
Yep.
But
Viking, Secret, Gam.
Oh wow, Gam. Okay, Gam 5th. Yeah.
Yeah. So Talon and Flying Oyster are both 6-1. Vikings and Wales are both 5-2, right below them.
Okay.
And then Gam is 3-4.
Okay. Yeah. So it's kind of like there's been some ups. They're not upsets. Like I'd say the top 4 right there is pretty close.
Okay.
There's so many teams now. It's crazy.
So many teams to think about.
Yeah. Like anytime that you get any of those top 5 teams, it's a 3-game series basically. So that's one thing I've kind of taken away. I'm not going to go ahead and predict who's going to win that split yet, but just wanted to let you know I've been watching it.
Yeah. No, it's sick. I've been seeing you tweet about it, and I'm like, oh, maybe I should tune into some of these. Actually, maybe I should follow along.
Yeah, I mean, the performance honestly isn't bad either. So that's the one thing I'm curious about once we get to first stand. How are these teams going to actually stack up? Because their gameplay is really solid. Like it looks like they know what they're doing. They're having fun with the Fearless as well. But it's not like these players are bad either. Like CFO has Doggo came from but it's the other guys that are playing really well. It's like Hong Q in their mid lane. It's Gen.G who's playing really well. Talon's playing really well. It's like Aj is great. It's the same team, right? I mean, they all have chemistry. Vikings has Shogun. No. Yeah, Shogun. And
That's right.
Shogun's been nasty for them. But just good players all around. Like each team has like 2 or 3 pretty solid guys that I honestly think could make a mark coming to nationals. So
I mean, we've seen this Talon team like upset at MSI and back when they were PSG Talon, they took BLG to 5 games.
Yeah, you're right. That was not even a year ago.
No,
right?
Yeah, that was just last year. So I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. If we saw a couple of these teams do some damage at this first tournament, I'd buy it. I'd believe it.
Yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see how they just stack up. But it's cool seeing them have their own region now, seeing all these teams kind of cross over and get to play each other during the regular season, because it's definitely leveling them up. I know that's kind of something that we were curious about, like how is it going to be combining all these regions?
Yeah.
I think it's been an overwhelming success, except if you're an OCE fan. Because Chiefs, I think, was their only representative, and they went
0-7.
0-7, yeah. I think they won 1 game.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's not great.
It was pretty much like, don't bet on the Chiefs because they're getting spanked by everybody.
The opposite of American football, where betting on the Chiefs would take you to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, except don't bet on them the last game.
But don't bet don't bet on them in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Then you'd lose a lot of money.
Yeah. But I mean, I think this region is going to be great for the overall ecosystem of esports. Or LoL Esports at least. And I don't know. I think there's a lot of sleeper guys that once we hit this first stand, there's going to be a lot more eyes on the region, hopefully, because there's a lot of guys that I think deserve a little more recognition. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do a little bit more on the Twitter, is just, highlighting some of those guys, right? Because they deserve it too.
Yeah, real quick, shout out to Twitter. Grayson has been putting in the absolute work and making some really high quality and a lot of tweets. So if you're interested in keeping up to date with all things, all five major regions, pretty much, all chat LOL on Twitter. All chat _LOL on Twitter.
We throw predictions on there, and they've been doing pretty well. I'm not gonna lie.
Grayson's been hitting like crazy.
Yeah.
He's been off by like 1 or 2 games this whole week or something. Like,
yeah,
my man is killing it.
But yeah, it's fun. Like the predictions are really cool. And I think it's fun just trying to, have it in writing. So you can kind of like, oh yeah, I told you so.
Go back and look at it and be like, I was right the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah. Knew the script the whole time.
Yeah, I'm one of the writers,
Yeah. But yeah, going, just hitting LPL really quick too. That's crazy. I don't know if you've seen what's going on over there, but we're in playoffs now. All the teams are qualified.
Oh, really?
So it's the top 4 for each group, or like top 1 in each group. They all advance to upper bracket. And then there's a lower bracket, and you should see the teams that are in there. It's
oh god,
all the teams that you would not expect to be in a lower bracket of a playoff to start off.
Is it the number 2 team from each group is in the lower bracket?
Yeah.
So we got Top Esports, Weibo, BLG, and IG.
Yeah.
That's and then first place or top half of the bracket or whatever is NIP, TT.
Yeah, TT.
Thunder Talk,
baby.
JDG.
Yeah.
And anyone's legend is swinging again.
Yep. They're on the rise last year, I remember, but with Tarzan on their team now, they're gross. They're nasty this year.
That's wild.
They smoked Top Esports. Like, it wasn't even close. 3-1, like, just domination the whole time. Like, the AL's like probably the most scrappy team I've ever seen. I think they put up like 35 kills a game, like something ridiculous. Like, it's actually crazy. They just fight the whole game, and it's so entertaining.
That's the most LPL thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. Oh, it's literally the epitome of LPL right there. You can summarize it in like anyone's legend is LPL as a team. But yeah, some other crazy names on there. Just
that's
glossed
a sentence
over
I
TT.
never. That's a sentence I never thought I'd hear. AL is LPL. Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Right now, quite honestly, it's those top 4 teams are kind of representative of, what everyone's kind of thought of LPL this for the last decade, right? Hyper aggressive, just fight the whole time. And it's these other teams that are the second place teams that have maybe gotten away from that a little bit, and they haven't had their same success. So it's interesting. I think a lot of it is like for an IG, for Top Esports, it's trying to find their footing as a new roster. But JDG isn't making those excuses.
Yeah.
AL, same thing.
What's going on with TT, by the way?
It's literally
who are these people?
They got Hoya, they got Beishuan, they got Saytab. You remember Saytab from DRX?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he made the jump, replaced UCal. It's almost their exact same roster. 1XN has been probably one of the best 80 carries in all of LPL. I've seen a lot of stuff about 1XN, how he was really dominant last year, and like just hasn't had the team around him. And this year, I don't think people would have argued that he had the team around him, but they're all firing on all cylinders. It's kind of like a NIP example.
All you need to fill out the roster is Saytab from DRX last year. What?
Right? That's actually all they needed. When they first started winning, because BLG was the last match that they played, I was like, oh yeah, TT they look pretty good. Like, oh yeah, they might be second. And then they beat BLG, and not even just beat them. Obviously, it was a 3-2 series, but it looked like TT was the better team, which is, you don't say that often when they're going against BLG, right?
I'm in disbelief.
Yeah. And then IG with their stacked ass roster. I mean, NIP is just the team in that I think it was Nip in their same group, and Nip's just been. I don't know. Obviously, we've seen Doinb's stuff, but they've all looked great as a team, right? And it's teams over individuals right now. And I think that's the biggest takeaway with the LPL.
That's what I'm saying. That's the fearless.
That's the fearless effect. Yeah, no, seriously. Because like at the end of the day, when these games go to 5 games, like the TTBLG, right? The better team came out. It wasn't the individual players, right? No one's ever going to take Hoya over Bin. No one's ever going to take Satab over Knight, right? But in that series, as a team, you're taking them, which is crazy. Yeah, it's kind of blasphemous, actually. But
yeah, that's some crazy shit happening in the LPL.
Yeah, but it's been really entertaining. Yeah, I thought LGD was going to do something against Top Esports last night. Like all my models actually had them projected to take at least 2 games, which they almost did.
Really?
And then they got 3 out. I think there's 2 of the games 1 and 3, they had like insane gold leads, insane just like momentum leads, and then they lost it all off one play and then lost the game. So there's just certain teams that can get it done, and that star power does get them across the line. And there's certain teams where, they're just not there yet. And that's kind of what we're seeing.
Teams that are getting it done are not the ones you would expect largely. So
yeah, it's pretty fun. So yeah, now I think it's like Top Esports Weibo maybe, or Weibo BLG, but these guys have to win out. Like those are the next matches. All those second place teams.
Are we going straight into double elim, or is it single elim still?
That's a good question.
It looks like round 1 is single elim. Well, actually, the LoL Esports website is so dog shit. I'm sorry.
No. Yep. So it's BLG versus Weibo. Losers out.
Oh.
And then it's Top Esports versus IG. Losers out. Yeah. Then the winners of those play the losers of TT, JDG, and then NIP AL respectively.
What a weird bracket, man. The fact that the final bosses you're getting to are like a TT and anyone's legend. What? What do you mean?
Yeah, I think JDG's probably the only one that makes sense.
Yeah,
to be there.
I mean, NIP too, to some extent, right? Like we saw Doinb coming back, but I don't know. IG was still supposed to be the god team of that group, right?
Yeah. I mean, all the group favorites didn't make it, aside from JDG, I'd say. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck going on over there, but it really is a strong it's a really strong region, right? You can't deny that. It could easily be I'd say it's a top 8 team region,
which is the size of any of the other regions by themselves, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true too. So, yeah, a lot of talent coming out of LPL, which obviously we all knew that, but it'll be interesting to see how these bigger matchups play out now. I think it'll help out a lot of these teams, but not going to call a first stand representative quite yet. It's just way too much variance to go around.
Too early. The only thing that we know is that it won't be LNG.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
It's all right. We left those guys in 2024 anyways, so
no scout, no
Gala, no Hong, no they still have Weiwei, they still have Zika, but they suck this year. They lost to someone ridiculously bad, like their last game of the year, last match of the year. I forget who it was, maybe like OMG or Up or something like that. Just ridiculous. Like, you guys should never be losing this, and they lost like 3-1, I think. So
they did it. They found a way to lose.
Yeah.
EDG maybe.
Yeah, EDG. I think it was EDG. Yeah.
Yep.
So
the other team in their group. So
yeah, not much hope for LNG. Yeah.
How are you feeling about that LNG jersey you got now?
It's got Scout's name on the back, so I'm not too mad.
It's got the good player on it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a lot of information overload. I'm not gonna lie, over the last couple of weeks. There's
just a lot of games.
There's just a lot of games. It's a lot of games, a lot of teams, a lot of players. lots of predictions, lots of tweets, not a lot of sleep. So great combo.
Great combo. Everything. Yeah.
But it is. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say the one point of consistency is who gives a fuck about the LEC. We haven't said a single thing about them, and whatever.
We're the top 4 teams that we predicted are the top 4 teams that we got. So
yeah, we got Fnatic versus G2 and KC versus Koi coming up, which are fucking bangers for the semifinals. So
right,
that's my 2 cents.
Is it not double Elim in LEC?
No.
Oh, okay, so that's it. So it's
no, it is double Elim.
Right? Sorry. Okay.
Nope, it's double Elim. So upper bracket round 2, Fnatic G2. KC Koi, which those are just the best matchups you could ask for.
Yeah,
that's so insane. Yeah, like, exactly. Literally the best ones you could ask for. And then the lower bracket, Giant X plays Team Heretics, Vitality plays BDS.
Whole lot.
Does it mean to say I don't care?
I was gonna say a whole lot of nothing over there.
I guess
all that to lose to Fnatic or G2, and all that to lose to
Koi or
MDK.
KC.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I guess GX probably beats Team Heretics, and BDS probably beats Vitality. But
you think BDS over Vitality?
I don't know, honestly. Maybe Vitality takes it. The first round was 4 2-0s. I don't.
Again, a whole lot of nothing over there, but
a whole lot of. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Top 4 is going to be the 4 teams that are in the upper bracket. I feel pretty confident about that. I don't know.
I think you're not in the minority thinking that.
Yeah. I think we're just going to see, I don't know, the winner of Fnatic versus G2 and the winner of KC versus Koi. And then we're going to see the 2 teams that lose beat the other 2 teams and come back up and play each other, and one of the, I don't know. It doesn't matter.
It's going to be some order of Fnatic, G2, KC, and MDK. Whatever.
And don't even ask me who wins, because I don't know. You know what? At the end of the day, G2 takes it. You know, that's just how Europe
goes. It's in the script,
Yeah. There's 4 good teams at the top. We're excited about it, and at the end of the day, G2 wins Europe. So it's like, I don't know. Whatever.
Imagine if we don't see G2 though at first stand. I think it actually is a realistic.
There's actually a very real chance it's not. Yeah,
I think it's almost more likely that it isn't G2.
Yeah, but it's also G2 though.
Yeah, right. I know. See, we get into this argument every year. Every split. It feels like it's G2 like, isn't looking that great. Yeah, it might be MDK. It might be Fnatic this year. No,
BDS. They look insane.
Yeah,
and
dude.
Then it's just
and then it's just Yike holding that shield, every single split, I swear I get one of those on my feed every year.
Another shield for G2. It's like they've got more than half of the trophies that have ever been won in the LEC or some bullshit. Like they have G2 alone has like more than half of the split wins that have happened or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully it's someone new this year, but I think it's pretty safe to guess G2, but love to see someone else take it this year.
But I am really pumped about these top 4 games, the Fnatic G2 and the Koi KC games. I really want to watch those. Actually, I think those will be really good.
They're tomorrow morning, right? So
are they really?
Yeah.
And I got the day off because it's a holiday.
Yeah, it's President's Day. Yeah, there.
President's Day, baby. Hey,
So be tuned into that. Actually, why don't we just act like we've already seen those matches, because this episode is not going to come out until after.
Okay,
dude. Yeah, that was a crazy Fnatic.
Dude, those games were insane. You're not baiting me. It's not like the bottom 4 teams are playing tomorrow.
No, I'm being like 100% dead ass. It's Fnatic G2 tomorrow morning 9 a.m. and then MDK,
you have it pulled up?
KC.
Okay,
I've seen it somewhere. Because in my and all my stat stuff, it pulls the match predictions.
No,
stuff.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It is them tomorrow. Yeah. Because I was about to say, if I wake up at 9 a.m. tomorrow to watch fucking GX play Team Heretics or goddamn BDS play Vitality, my brains are going to be plastered all over my wall. Like I won't do it. I can't. I won't do it.
I'll be getting
It's
a
not
very
gonna happen.
angry message from Jack at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Grayson, what
Why
the fuck?
Why am I awake right now? And I'm not going to be responding because I'm sleeping in.
Because you're going to be asleep.
No, okay, but realistic predictions. I think Fnatic takes it tomorrow.
I kind of do too. Yeah.
Again, this is without having watched a single LEC match, so take these predictions with a grain of salt. But based on my models and all my stats, Fnatic takes it. So
yeah, I think I've watched a few games. I've watched some of them, and I think Fnatic looks so nasty. It's actually Mickey X, like getting rid of that guy. Like every time G2 do it, it's like you're so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Go sit in the corner, G2. You're so dumb. This guy, you're getting rid of. He's the best support that Europe has ever seen. Like you're so stupid.
Yeah.
LeBron is great, but like you're giving up Mickey X. Shut up and go sit in the corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Put on the dunce cap, you idiot. I don't know.
Yeah, no, him and Upset have looked unreal together, dude.
They're the best bot lane in the LEC.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
They're insane.
Yeah, it's not even close. Like,
No.
yeah, we'll give yeah, you know, you can't even say Callisto and Targi, right? And then Supa and Alvaro. I mean,
Alvaro.
They're not bad either, but
yeah,
it's hard to come close to Upset and Mickey right now. I mean,
yeah.
All my stats, again, like I'm basing all my thoughts on just the stats. So yeah, take it with a grain of salt. But Fnatic's leading in every single category by a pretty wide margin. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah. And Upset and Mickey are like Upset's gap over whoever's next is pretty high. And I think Mickey's gap over whoever's next is also pretty ridiculous.
Upset's finally doing it. He's finally out of 10th place jail.
Yeah.
He's finally on a good team. He did it. He did it.
Finally.
He's not 10th.
So, yeah. Alvaro is second to Mickey, and then Noah's second to Upset. So,
okay. Like, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's not like...
Yeah, that... I wonder if the GX bot lane is actually the second best bot lane in the league, even though they're like 5th.
I think they're honestly overperforming for what, you know, like they're the overperforming members or like the standout members, I guess, within GX. Because June's 3rd, and then like Jackie's is 5th for mid laners, and then Closer's 8th for junglers, and then Watt is 7th for top laners.
That would even out.
Yeah,
even out to a 5th-ish place. Yeah. But it might not be crazy to say that Noah June is the second best bot lane in Europe.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
They got the chemistry, and they do perform really well together.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't watched too much though, so I'm honestly
basing all from the stats.
Exactly, all from the stats. So don't
it's the stats, brother.
Don't shit on me. Yeah. Either way, though, I think Fnatic's. They look pretty good right now.
What about prediction for KC versus Koi?
I'm taking Koi all day.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I'm taking KC.
Okay, well then we got to put a lunch on it or something.
Maybe we do. Yeah.
I think I'm very biased towards Koi.
Yeah. Why is that?
Just because last year I was too, and so I got to continue it. You know, they didn't change much. They just got rid of they added JoJo Pune. So from a pure fan perspective, I think I'm rooting for Koi, but I do want KC to do well. I want Callisto to do well. I want all those guys. I want Yike to do well, right? Like Vladdy.
Yeah.
After what I said about him a few weeks ago, I hope the best for him, honestly. Kana looks great too. Targi, you know, everyone says he's boosted, but you can't be boosted if you're top 4 in LEC.
No, you can. No, you absolutely can. Yeah. No, you can still be boosted, and he is. No, for sure. No, they can have 4 good players and 1 boosted player. No, for sure. For sure they can. That's wrong, actually. They actually can't. He can be boosted any age. So
Okay.
Just wanted to clarify.
Okay. I thought you were on KC though.
Yeah, no, but Targamas
but
is
realistic
boosted as hell. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually really tight though. I thought that KC was like significantly above Koi at the end of the regular season, but they were both 6-3.
Yeah. Fnatic was I think the only
8-1.
team. Yeah.
Yeah, they were at the top. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
and then KC, G2, and Koi were all 6-3.
Yeah. So it's really the same top 4 that we're expecting. It's just a matter of who's going to be the last one standing.
Yeah. And then just to remind everyone, SK and Rogue were both 1-8. So those guys don't get to play any games until like fucking April or something. So good.
SK Rogue? I've never heard of those guys.
Who are they? What region do they play for? Are those NLC teams?
Yeah. Those guys play in the Turkish league, right? I think.
Oh, Rogue used to go to Worlds, man.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy.
It was going to be Rogue was supposed to take over Europe. Do you remember that? Like Odo, Trimby, Larson.
That was like two years ago, right? 2 or 3, I think.
That was like 4 years ago.
Oh,
that was forever.
Well, there's a year where Rogue won a split, and that was like when I started watching LEC, and that could have been more than like 3 years ago.
That was a few years ago. It was 3 or 4 years ago.
Maybe I'm just getting old, bro.
You're a boomer now. I think. Yeah.
I'm losing track of time.
That's what it was like. The Odo inspired Trimby, Comp, Larson.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the roster that won. That roster was nasty. But like looking back on it, Odo inspired Trimby. Like, I mean, Larson was a different player back then too, and Comp was having just like an insane split. Yeah. But Larson looks so dead inside now. That guy is someone. Oh my god! I think it was I Will Dominate on Twitter posted a thing about how many games Larson has played in the last like 2 years.
Yeah, and it's like
so little.
Wasn't it like 13 or it was like 16 or something? No. It was like
it was more than that, but it was like the minimum you could play. It was like in the 20s or something. I was like, dude, that's so bad. This guy has played no league in the last 2 years. Like,
no, I saw that tweet. The number though, I just remember thinking like, what? Because they only play BL1s.
Yeah, and he just is perma bottom 2, pretty much. Can I search for Larson? I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick because that was insane. Larson has only played 12 bad weeks of professional League of Legends in the last 1.5 years. He's played 12 weeks of games in the last 1.5 years.
12 weeks of games? Wow.
That's so crazy. Yeah, because you only play 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you play 3, it's 3 weeks of 3 BO1s.
Yeah.
And he's been bottom 2 at the end of all of them. So he's played 12 weeks of league in the last 1.5 years.
So basically, a little bit more than like 36, because there's probably some tiebreaker ones in there, but like, 36 games of League of Legends.
Maybe 40 games.
Yeah.
In the last 1.5 years.
That's crazy. You got to feel for the guy, man. I'd just retire at that point. Throw me, just start streaming.
Maybe you gotta have. Maybe we have it all wrong. Maybe we need to have so much respect for Larson.
Yeah.
Just the fact that this guy has gone through 1.5 years where he's played 12 weeks of games and he's still committed to playing.
Yeah,
this guy has the mental of a fucking Iron Man, of a professional. Like, dude, that's crazy.
Or that contract is diffy.
Or he's getting paid money.
Yeah. Damn.
12 weeks.
I wonder if anyone matches that.
You really can't shit on a guy for only playing 12 bad weeks of game.
Oh, he's probably getting paid like.
Bro, if Faker had 12 bad weeks of games in the last 1.5 years, like no one would say shit. But it's Larson, so of course they're gonna dunk on him.
Well,
come on.
It doesn't help that there's the only 12 weeks of gameplay that he's.
Don't worry about that part. That's so insane.
Yeah, some of the stats that you see on Twitter are just you don't believe them for a sec. And then
I hate that statistic.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's so crazy to me.
Yeah. Oh, you got to feel for the guy. Just around 40 games, we're assuming, and it's probably less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
that's almost 1.5 calendar months of games.
12 weeks. That's 3 months, right?
Well, 36 games.
Oh, you're just talking about if it was a game a day. Yeah, he's
barely got like a calendar month of stage games. Yeah,
just over a month of stage games. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and you got guys like, Hanwha Life who've played 10 in the last 5 days.
5 days. They just played a whole Larson split in 2 days.
They played more than a Larson split, bro.
Hanwha Life has played more games in 5 days than Larson played in an entire split.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Are you kidding me?
Don't even get me started on poor like Licorice and I don't know whoever's on DSG.
Oh God,
got to play
four games.
4 games per season per split. Must be nice.
No. Okay, Fearless I love, but the format for these splits is so garbage, man.
Yeah, it's just because
it's so insultingly bad.
Yeah, it's all because of this first new international, though, right? So
yeah,
like this season's so short, just because it has to be, right?
Do you remember what was that? Here, this is another fucking dumbass statistic, but it was for one of the maybe it was Caney on. Is he on Dig?
He's on Dig, yeah.
Yeah, he showed up like 2 days before their games or something, and then they lost. Oh, was it him?
No, dude, it's the
you know what I'm talking about.
The
right?
support for Lions didn't even play a stage game, bro.
Yeah. No, but there was another one. There was another player. It must have been a Lions player. Their mid laner. Who's the mid?
Their mid laner is
I'm looking this up. Hold on.
Mid laner for Lions. Couldn't tell you. I know they got Henna, they got Licorice, they got
Saint. I think it was Saint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he showed up like 2 days before their stage games, and then they went 0-4 and he's done. So he was in LA playing games for they had 2 weeks, right? Like he was there for like 9 days, I think.
Oh,
because he showed up right before they played a couple games, and then they played more games the next weekend, like a week later, and then he was done. So I think there was some stat that he got 9 days before they're done until April.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That's so terrible.
And he's coming from DK, bro. Like DK Challengers. Imagine going from DK Challengers to tier 1 LTA North. And you play 4 games, and you got to go back to Korea.
Oh my!
Just go grind out solo queue out there and hope for the best,
dude. You know what I just thought about? What if they make roster changes before the next split, and he's gone? What if he comes and plays in North America for 9 days and is gone? Oh God! Oh, it's too painful. I can't think about it.
I got to feel for their support, bro. He didn't even get to play a stage game. Imagine they cut his ass, bro.
No, it's infinitely worse to actually show up in LA and then be done after 2 weeks of play. It's way worse to be in LA for 9 days playing games and have your whole split be done than it is to just not show up.
I wonder if he was just living out of a hotel. Is there even a team house for Lion?
Dude, I don't know. That's too insane. I need to make sure I'm quoting. I'm pretty sure that's right. Saints. I don't even know if I can find this, but
regardless, though, some of the situations for some of these players is nuts. Given the split times.
Yeah.
Even B&K, Fear X, and LCK, right? Like they played 4 series and they're bounced. Most of them consisting of 2-0s, right? So they're almost in the same boat as Rogue and SK, right? They only played maybe 8 to 10 games for the split and they're done. And they finished a while ago too.
This format is so bad. It's so bad.
They're gonna have to rethink how they do winter split moving forward, because I know that spring split and summer split are gonna be more or less the same. But then again, they have to think about how they're gonna implement Fearless. I mean, if they were willing, here's my thoughts on going back to the Fearless thing. If they were willing to do it in LPL for summer split, I don't see why they wouldn't be opposed, because LPL is the second best region, right? Yeah. So willing to do it over there. Maybe they're willing to do it elsewhere for a normal split, not a tournament split. I don't know. Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
But it is going to be better, hopefully, come spring and summer. These guys will actually get to play. Yeah. You know, instead of having a nice 1 week, 2 week vacation in LA, or a nice 4 week, 2 to 3 week, whatever, sets of games, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think a lot of good has come out of this first split. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff. I think Fearless is really cool. I think a lot of the teams that are unexpectedly winning has been really cool. I think if there's 2 failures that we'll take away from this, one of them is that the format in all of the regions is pretty bad, but is particularly bad in a couple of them, like the LTA.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the format is a big issue, and I think specifically the LTA North-South split is going to be seen as a failure, because I fear whenever the LTA North and the LTA South comes together, all the LTA North teams are going to beat all the LTA South teams, and we're just going to see one round of them playing, and then it go back to just being LTA North. So I think the global format for this first split, just for each region, is pretty bad. And then specifically the North and South competition in America is going to be a failure. I think that they're going to have to rethink.
Yeah, I think the only ones that have, obviously LEC stayed the same. Right. LCP has been honestly really solid. Each team got to play each other once. Like, that's great. LPL is pretty good. They have 16 teams, so they had to split off into 4 groups, obviously. But competition levels were pretty high, at least within the top teams, right? I mean, that's inevitable for LPL. LCK is definitely gonna be. No one kind of understood why they did what they did with the group Bear and group Elder. So I think LCK and then LTA as a whole might need some rethinking come winter.
Agreed.
Next year.
Agree. Yeah.
But agreed. Fearless as a whole and everything that's kind of been the last. Big dubs.
Yeah.
Big dubs.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see who ends up at first stand, and maybe we're just wrong about everything, and LTA is the best region, and we see 100 Thieves take down NIP or Hanwha Life. Who knows?
You know, it's not going to happen, but it could.
Yeah.
It definitely will not. But hey,
it's like a less than maybe 2% chance of it happening, but there's still a chance.
Yeah. Maybe the bad region formats is the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
Think about that. I leave you with this. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we really go off at the dome now, huh?
Yeah.
Hey,
season 2, baby.
Season 2. Oh, yeah.
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Objectively worse. You know? All ways to describe it.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys didn't ask for this. We decided to do it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey.
Well, to be fair, we weren't getting much feedback in general, so someone had to make some choices.
Something had to give. Yeah. That's right. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
I think it's nice to be back to just talk about League, not having to worry about, let's cover this, make sure. Oh, my God.
Stats. Milky Way.
Oh.
FPX.
We did talk about Milky Way a lot last year.
Yeah, we did.
And his team didn't even make it to playoffs. Like,
Oh,
there's a lot of talk
nightmare.
about Milky Way for nothing.
It's okay. We got the YouTube Shorts views. Nothing matters.
Yeah. Oh, can't wait till first stand, bro. We can't wait. Those tier lists, bro, they're gonna be bumping.
Oh my god, these YouTube thumbnails about to go crazy.
Yeah. But I mean,
God.
yeah, seriously. I wonder if there's people that agree with what we're saying. I'm sure we're not in the minority. I bet I'd be willing to bet some big bucks that we're in the overwhelming majority for a lot of these takes.
And you know what? That's what people come here for, is to us have absolutely lukewarm takes that everyone agrees with. That's what you want out of a podcast. I want to sit and listen to these guys talk for an hour and a half about things that I agree with and are non-controversial. And that's the dream. So
should we just start lying? Should we just start spreading misinformation?
We need to switch our format to all we know is eat hot chip and lie. Spread misinformation.
Nongshim is the best team in the LCK.
Buy their stocks now. Get in on the noodles while you can. They're going to win. Not only will they win the LCK, they're winning first stand. You heard it here first.
They'll be beating TL. UmTi is somehow going to win MVP. First ever MVP at first stand from the losing team, actually.
Losing team.
Yeah, setting history. Yeah.
My statistics and my analytical projections tell me that Nongshim will take down TL in the first stand finals, and UmTi will get MVP.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, that's what my projections say too. Actually,
I believe it. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have Nongshim over Hanwha Life in the final for LCK.
Good.
3-0. Yeah, that's what my model
We gotta
says.
stop. We gotta stop right now. We gotta be done. We can't keep doing this. We can't.
Anyways.
Yeah.
By the fans for the fans.
By the fans for the fans. Thank you for tuning into All Chat. I really hope some of you show up next week.
Actually, it's in 2 weeks because we go every other now.
My bad. Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
See you guys soon.
Peace.